Hi, this is Team 12, Project 12, Space Object VR for the NASA Psyche mission. And this is one of the models that we've been working on in order to replace the skeletal mannequin that we currently have in our VR project. Now, we currently are using a mannequin hand, but the intention is to replace that hand with a fully functioning um, astronaut who can move while the user says to move forward and backward and jump, and the head would be attached to the user's HUD. So as you can see, this model is very adaptive to whatever we plan on doing with him next, and it should provide a more immersive experience for the VR experience, especially if we are able to add multiplayer utility to the project in the future.
Hi, this is Eric. During this final sprint, we also worked on our maps, which were a work in progress, such as the solar system map. It had the orbital data added to it, which is actually pulled from SPICE to represent the real orbits of the various planets. And then also the planets' sizes were changed so that they were proportionally correct, and the materials were added to them so that they look like the actual planets themselves. In addition, we worked on finalizing our Eros maps so that they had the correct landscapes containing the rocks and craters so that they added to the realistic experience for the user.
Hi, this is Ryan. In this last sprint, I focused on tying everything together and cleaning up the aesthetics on our implemented systems and removing anything that we didn't have time to fix for the build. So you can see I worked on the user interface, the screen widgets, and the notifications. I also ensured that there were no more edge cases as far as traveling between spaces, and added a cool scene transition effect.
Hello, this is Dakota Stinnerson from Team 12 Space Object VR. In this sprint, we added a new slice of Eros to use within our game. We also went ahead and included some widgets to use within our level sequencers. We cancel this building navigation. And when we enter into our game, we will have a new updated little sequence here with some text on the screen. And we also added a button that we could use to skip this intro if we so choose to. I'll let this one play through. And then we will enter into our level, either if the player skips it or if they let play through. And then we also went ahead and fixed up the materials on the near shoemaker so that we can put it within our game.
Hey, this is Nate Bergen. In this sprint, we worked on improving the look and functionality of the UI for the wrist control. Ryan did a really good job of adding some new features here, making this look a lot nicer. And then I worked on improving the look of the buttons so they look a little bit more like buttons and not just big blocks. We also added a new mesh for Saturn. The old mesh did not have any rings, and so now we have rings, so it looks a little bit more like Saturn. We also added some sound effects for the menu, the wrist actions, and some voice introductions to introduce the player to new portions of the level. So here's some examples for the menu sound effects. And here's some examples for the wrist actions. And then finally, we wanted to introduce the player into new areas of the map and give them a little bit of an introduction so that they know what to expect. Welcome to Mission Control. From here, you will use the virtual reality room to travel to the asteroid Eros. The discoveries you make while exploring will appear in the gallery room, so you can revisit them whenever you like. This just helps the player to feel a little bit more immersed and not quite so lost when they visit a new area of the experience.